Welcome to the Tom Matt Show. You are walking through the front door of the retirement zone. And now, your host, Tom Matt.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of the Tom Matt Show. Thank you so much for joining us. Last week, had that pro basketball guy, Donovan Ivory, Kingpin, guy's greatness. Had a couple of private lessons with my grandson, too. That was the whole scoop when I met Donovan. I'm always scamming on something. I swear to God, you guys. It's like, I see this guy at the gym. He looks like a college guy. He's 25 years old, just turned 25. And a pro basketball player, which I didn't know that at the time. I had no idea who the guy was. Just like he's 6'6", and he's obviously an athlete. And just start chatting. And next thing you know, we're friends. And he's been on the show. And he's doing some custom work with my grandson, who's going to be turning 11 years old in August. And you know what? If you can get the kids with older adults, or if you can get anybody some coaching that is out of the norm, you can really, really excel and improve on all of your efforts. And that's the whole thing about today's episode, improving on effort. I write that down. Improve on effort. Even though I always talk about this stuff. Improving on effort. We got a coach here with us. Sarah Granetz has been with me before. Greatness. Sarah's a strength and conditioning fitness coach. Par excellence, holistic approach to wellness. Go back and listen to some of her other episodes. She's massive on Instagram. Her Instagram, I had her profile up, but I don't even need to go into all that stuff. She focuses on building knowledge and excitement. The Instagram profile will tell you all these same things, you guys. And there's over, I don't know what you got, Sarah, 300, 400,000 followers on that thing. Good job for that. Her training specifically is for women. She says over 30, but I believe that, you know what, women, period, need to have coaching from women. Now, some women may not, maybe it works with a guy, and that's fine. And I see a lot of influencers online that, and there's several very, very successful trainers that are out there that are men that are specifically work with women. It's good for them. But I think as a trainer, that if you can get with people you relate to, I train a lot of women, because I have daughters. And so, there's ways to relate to people. You understand the whole modality, but there's nothing better than having a woman like Sarah, who's educated, knows her stuff, going through the training, done the retirement zone herself several times, as we've talked about in previous episodes. Get with a woman, because a coach like a Sarah Granetz can make a huge, huge, huge difference in your life, your health, and just everything, your sense of purpose. Want to welcome back to the radio program. Let her do some talking. This is Your Life with my bud, the girl from, where are you at now? You in Florida? You in New York? Where are you at, Sarah? How you doing, and where are you?
I'm in Maine right now, and the beach is right there, and it's heaven.
Nice.
Yeah.
Maine. So let's do the This Is Your Life. It's been over a year now, and I apologize for that. Yeah. I told Sarah pre-production, you guys, that, I've got to have her on at least twice a year, because her topic is so strong. Working with women specifically, and the topics that she has. So I promise you we're going to do that. So go ahead, Sarah, take it from here. Welcome back. Thank you so much for taking the time. And how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me back.
My pleasure.
Always excited.
Talk about what's happening, your health, all of these good things.
Yeah. With respect to coaching, the business has tripled, even just since this January, not including last January. I have a team of almost 20 now.
Wow.
And
congratulations.
Thank you. So my husband and I have put all of our effort solely on coaching and figuring out how to help as many women as possible. And ultimately what that meant was that I could not be the bottleneck. And so now I have coaches. Mm-hmm. Some of them are former clients. Some of them are women who have been coaching for 10, 20 years, but maybe they just never wanted to run their own business. And we are getting to help more women, inspire more women, but ultimately show them that they should not be settling for some of the other crappy coaches out there, but also that they can achieve a lot of these more advanced goals. That's really what women come to us for.
Excellent. How's your family doing?
Family's okay. And I'm still dealing with some gut and hormone stuff. That's true for a lot of women, right? We have these things that fester for years and we never truly dive into them, or we do. And frankly, we're gaslit by providers. So I'm definitely trying to practice what I preach and address my concerns more seriously. But as I'm sure you also know, it's a process. It's not just a let's flip the switch and figure this out. It's okay. We're gonna really devote time, money, and effort, honestly, to it. It can still be a long road.
Yeah, for sure. Sandy and I are going to be going through this ourselves, Sarah, because she's, you know, as we're growing older, you have to kind of stay on top of things. And she's never really had the hormone thing. We're going to talk about this extensively today, you guys. But she's never had a panel done, not for a long time. And, you know, you have the perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopausal things that go on. You're obviously not there yet. But all of these things add up for women to have ups and downs and struggles. And then you add in all the other things that women are kind of societally expected to do, right? I mean, you're expected to be the maternal, you're expected to fix things, you're expected to cook things and clean things and do all these other things. How do you get things done? So how's the parents, how's your husband doing? Talk about that. I want to get you warmed up. Talk about that personal side of things. Tell people more about you. I mean, the 20 people that you have, that's fantastic. Talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think as someone whose parents are a little older, like it's really so apparent to me why so much of what I'm doing now matters, right? Because in our 70s, we don't necessarily get the same chance to kind of rewrite history. And so setting the foundation now, making it part of your lifestyle now, you don't need to be lifting 6 days a week. You can lift for, 3-4 days a week, even twice a week, studies show could be vastly beneficial, right? Prioritizing whole foods, saying no, drinking less alcohol. I mean, we say that these things are hard now. Nothing is as hard as not being able to go to the toilet by yourself, as physically not being strong enough, right, to walk across a room. And I think that until you start to see that, and until you see some of your loved ones, right, grandparents, parents, aunts, uncles go through things like that, it's really easy to say tracking my food is hard. And as soon as you're hit with any of these other things, you're like, yeah, right. Like, how dare I? And so I'm kind of in that stage of life where I don't have a lot of room for bullshit or nonsense, but it's at the same token, it's also not holding myself to an unrealistic standard. The studies show it's least minimum dose, right? Least minimum dose in the gym, as much food as possible. And then in balance is somewhat overrated, but keeping the long-term vision, right, on my horizon, it's to live well, age well, and love how I look and help other women.
Well, let me tell you, from my own experience, having gone through, and you guys on the radio have listened to me talk about the knee stuff for the last year now, been almost a year. What Sarah just said about just the activities of daily living, for example, getting off a toilet, getting on a toilet. When you have to experience this and you've never done it before, and you've never had to struggle with bathroom issues or getting out of bed issues or anything like that, in a recovery mode, what you're saying is so absolutely true. And it's really everybody, it really comes down to all of the prehab. That's what I call it. Prehab for your fitness, for your life, because something is going to tell you right now, you guys, I'm not trying to be a downer. Something's going to happen. You're going to have an occurrence in your life. You're going to have an illness, family illness. Something is going to knock you sideways. And those who are resilient will be the ones who will sustain and be successful in managing it. All right. So Sarah, we're going to go through, go ahead and give the listeners your 3 topics that you texted over to me, and then we'll go to break.
Yeah, for sure. So we're going to talk about HRT and TRT. It's not taboo anymore. We're going to talk about why advanced women specifically need the right kind of coach, and also why your identity is what's keeping you stuck.
And so you guys can see that we have 3 excellent topics that I really want to pick Sarah's brain on this thing. She's phenomenal. Again, let me give you the lowdown with Sarah, and then we'll go to our quick break here. Sarah Granetz is a strength, fitness, and nutrition coach. Been on the show several times. She's big on social media. Obviously she's doing well because she's got 20 people working for her now. When we started, it was her and her husband doing the whole thing. She focuses on building knowledge, excitement, and discipline to improve strength, muscle definition, cardiovascular endurance, the whole thing. Today, like Sarah was just saying, HRT, TRT, the taboo excess of that, why advanced women need coaches. I'm curious about all 3 of these. And your identity is what's keeping you stuck. What in the heck does that mean? Sarah Granetz, healthier and stronger with Sarah. This is the Tom Matt Show.
Thank you again to Brock Fletcher, real estate agent at the selling team with Keller Williams Realty. For more information on services provided by Brock, please call his personal cell phone at 517-303-3262 or by emailing Brock at kwsellingteam.com.
Welcome to the Tom Matt Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to this week's episode of Tom Matt Show. I am your host, Tom Matt. Thank you to Mitch Anderson for all of the production work he does on the audio side, Vanessa for everything she does on our video side and all of our social media and everything else to do with video content. And of course, the voice you heard coming in was Sandy's. If you're listening to the podcast or the radio program, thank you to her as well. You know, we're a small team, but we get it done. We also have a team of sponsors that help us so much. Brock Fletcher, the selling team of Keller Williams Realty. Love these guys so much. You've heard me talk about it every week. Brock is a huge factor is why our show is successful, and we've been doing this for 15 years. Huge. Brock Fletcher's the guy. Phone number is 517-853-6408 is his office number. 517-853-6408. His cell phone number, which he is absolutely good with everybody using, text him, leave him a voicemail. He will give you a call back, promise you. He will either that or text you. 517-303-3262. 517-303-3262. Go online to kwsellingteam.com. kwsellingteam.com. Great website. Go to tommattshow.com. Go down to the reality of real estate, little cartoon boxes we have down there for all of our topics and categories. And you'll find a bunch of shows, 20, 25 shows, reality of real estate. Bulk of those are with Brock and his team. And we just have fun talking about all kinds of different issues because real estate is a massive issue, and it should be a big part of your life, and understanding what we're doing with it is very, very important. So I want to thank Brock again and the whole team over there, the selling team. Sell your home without hassles. I'm telling you right now, just like we did, big household, bought little house Lansing. Just sent another house over to Mikey Dedman. Today, Sandy and I are on our walk this morning. It's another house in our sweet little neighborhood. Took a picture, a little video of it, sent it over to Mikey Dedman. Boom, boom, there you go. And away you go. We want to have good people in our neighborhood. All right. Again, last phone number is 517-303-3262 is the cell phone number. Use it and go for it. Thank you again to Joan Wright from Williamston for listening to us on Michigan State University's WKAR on Sundays at 5. We appreciate you very much, Joan. Thank you so much for what you do and for being Joan. Okay, back to our show today. My pal Sarah Granetz is back. So happy to see her. She's doing great. Her business is booming. I knew that. When Sarah and I first got together a couple years ago, I had a feeling that this young woman was going to be just dynamite. She's totally dialed in, got it going, smart, very, very just straight up. So today, calling this one Healthier and Stronger with Sarah. Sarah, you sent me over fantastic topics. I mean, the HRT, TRT. Let's talk about this because I have interviewed people about menopause. I've talked to lots of women about this, but I want to get your perspective from it because you have a very unique perspective. So go ahead, start it from there. What is the deal?
Yeah. So I'm getting my doctorate in sports nutrition and exercise science. Earlier this year, we saw that the black box warning on HRT has come off. Essentially, the studies that were linking HRT to heart disease, cancer, were deemed insufficient to continue this warning, right? So the risks are no longer what we all have been told. And so ultimately what that means is that more women should be prescribed HRT. And there are actually more compelling studies that say it's even preventative, right? It will help prevent osteoporosis. It will help prevent vasomotor issues. It'll help prevent heart disease. And so the idea that for so long, women have now come to accept the symptoms, right? The very realities of menopause and perimenopause as their new normal, it's not really acceptable anymore. And in my program, what I frequently am telling women is you don't deserve to feel like this anymore. And what I keep getting back sometimes is this assumption that they don't actually deserve to feel as good as possible. They should be learning to live with these symptoms, just like the doctors who have been gaslighting them about them for years, or that menopause is a natural occurrence, even though we all know that just because something is natural does not mean we need to suffer through it. And what the bigger piece actually is that testosterone replacement is still extremely taboo, even though there isn't any literature remotely like HRT showing anything negative. It is simply women convinced that they will turn into men. But ultimately, and like we're going to talk about later, I think that fear of what they say is actually just a mask of, I don't actually want to see what I'm capable of because I've never been there. So that's scary.
Well, the medical side of things is really interesting. Sandy and I were talking about this. Sarah Granetz is our guest today, everybody. Healthier and Stronger with Sarah. And she actually brought up that, and you correct me if I'm wrong here. And by the way, congratulations on working on that PhD. That's awesome. So good. I'm not surprised. But the testosterone replacement for women, she was saying, and she was in healthcare for 40 plus years, medical, clinical scientist. She knows what she's talking about. But there's no prescriptions. There's no help from the doctors for women. Plenty for men. You can see all kinds of testosterone replacement for men, hormone replacement for men. But is that true? Have you seen that where the testosterone it's been like, oh no, it's like the women in the gym who are afraid to lift anything because I'm going to get bulky. Right? Same kind of thought process.
Yeah, so testosterone replacement, testosterone is a controlled substance, so even for men. But what you will find is, Pom, you could literally walk into a salon today that probably specializes in Botox, and testosterone replacement for men is probably an option, on that menu. Whereas a woman has to go to a medical doctor who will then prescribe it. Testosterone is not approved for women, I believe, by the FDA in America, but we know that women are still replacing with it. And that as long as the dosing is correct and we are following proper procedures, right, actually listening to our bodies, just like with anything else, then supplementing what you're supposed to have is not a problem. And women are afraid, like you said, of becoming bulky, of becoming manly. I have only ever had one client who took too much by accident, and she noticed her hair was growing a little faster. Like it's still like anything else. You have to actively take too much, just like a sleeping pill, just like a zinc supplement, just like allergy medicine, to have it become a problem. If you have a true deficiency as reported on blood work.
It's absolutely a fact. I mean, and so there's such a double standard for men and women. So how the medications are prescribed and how their dosages are set. Over history, everybody, we've done lab tests where they base these dosages on men, body weight, size, and right, Sarah? So we got a lot to talk about when it comes to all this.
Yeah. The other thing is, even if you do honestly find a provider who's like, yes, your testosterone's terrible, let's supplement it, they are still essentially totally guessing. They don't know if an injection is really the best thing for you. They don't know if a cream. Some research is not supportive of pellets. I would never want a client on a pellet, but it's still very much an art. And I think people want HRT to be a science. They want it to be a clear, just like with a statin or, once again, vitamin D. My vitamin D is low. I take vitamin D. It's very simple. But like you said, there is this double standard that women should be surviving with serious brain fog, no libido, poor muscle growth, right? And all the other things that low testosterone can mean for both a man and a woman.
Agreed. And so if you're suffering through these, and again, Sarah, as you said, and I'm going to take this through because we're coming up on break here, you need to understand your bodies. And I wrote down intuitive eating, intuitive feeling, how these things work. We come back, everybody. I want to talk about how the FDA is playing with us. And like Sarah was saying, we'll talk a little bit more about that. The Tom Matt
Thank you again to Brock Fletcher, real estate agent at the selling team with Keller Williams Realty. For more information on services provided by Brock, please call his personal cell phone at 517-303-3262 or by emailing Brock at kwsellingteam.com. This is the Tom Matt Show.
Welcome to the Tom Matt Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to this week's episode of Tom Matt Show. I am your host, Tom Matt. Guest today is Sarah Granetz, Strong by Sarah. Look her up on Instagram. We'll give you all those details here in a little bit. And coming out of next break, we'll give you all of Sarah's contact info. If you want her for coaching, if you want her for speaking, anything you need, we'll get that all to you. And plus, we'll have all the links in her recap on the website, Sarah Granetz. Want to do the testimonial portion of the show for Brock and the selling team of Keller Williams Realty. And I'll say hello to everybody over there, and Mikey especially, as I mentioned him earlier. But the testimonials are always fun. I love doing my own testimonial. We've sold a house through Brock. He hit the number perfect. We bought Little House Lansing through Mikey, which is a buyer's agent on Brock's team. Hit the number perfect. Went in with a strategy, and we had no problems at all. If you have a strategy with your real estate purchases or your ideas of the planning portion of it is so vitally important. Just like everything else we do, just like talking to Sarah Granetz today, how to be healthier and stronger. Having good documented evidence, doing your research, doing your due diligence will work. Take it from somebody like an Erica, this testimonial, working with the selling team, bold type, to find our perfect home was an awesome experience. How cool is that to see that? That's a testimonial. How it was an awesome experience. We are very happy with our home purchase. They worked really hard with us to make it happen. She's referring to the selling team of Keller Williams Realty, Brock's team. That's Erica from Lansing, Michigan. Again, phone numbers to reach Brock if you're interested in just getting some information. We're not trying to push anything on you. Make your own decisions with everything. Gather your information, get with good people, and then make a good decision. Make a good informed decision. Just like we're going to give you more information from Sarah today about making good decisions. And you guys think about these things, make the good decision, then move forward, okay? 517-853-6408 or 517-303-3262 is Brock's cell phone number. Go for it. Give him a shout. Tell him you heard it from Tommy, because that's how they know me. From radio, they all call me Tommy. All right, back to our show today with my pal, Sarah Granetz. Promise you guys I'll have Sarah on at least twice a year, because her annual thing, which she's exceedingly available to come on, which I'm very grateful for, but she's just a wonderful source of knowledge, especially for women. And let me tell you guys, if you get your women with the right coach, the right mindset, life is better. Believe me, it's not worse. It's actually better. So you would want to say, hey, I heard Tom Matt's show and he was interviewing this really cool woman, this Sarah Granetz, Strong by Sarah. I think you need to check this out. Boom. There you go. Okay. Healthier and stronger with Sarah. Sarah, let's finish the HRT, TRT thing, because that's a big topic, and it's like women are just like pushed to the side and it's always last to find out. But things are changing thanks to people like you. And what have you seen so far that is encouraging you that things are actually moving in that direction?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's what's that saying? It's not your fault, but it's your responsibility. You have to take it on yourself to find a provider who will listen. You have to get your blood work done. You have to be your best advocate, because no one's going to do it for you. I mean, I have women in the program, I've begged them to get blood work done and they still haven't done it, right? So you have to be the one to say, I am no longer accepting severe night sweats from too much estrogen, really bad anxiety and poor sleep from not enough progesterone, terrible memory or brain fog from testosterone, right? Like, you have to be the one to say, this is not normal. I'm not willing to accept it. And then, you probably will have to shop around, unfortunately, right now, for the state of how women's healthcare is. But it's also, complaining about it isn't productive. So you need to find the right partner and someone who will really allow you to understand and optimize, right? Like I said, even if you can find someone to help you, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to recommend the right dose, the right vehicle, the right frequency. That's still on you to figure that out. And having someone who can coach you through that, say, this is normal, that isn't, let's get repeat blood work. Your provider should also be not renewing your subscription until medication, right? Unless you're actually getting blood work done every 3 months. There's all those nuances, right, that should be in place, just like any other treatment.
I want to leave that there because I got a couple of things I made notes on. I want to ask Sarah about this in relation to testosterone and women getting bigger. Right now, for larger, stronger. Okay, getting stronger, but getting bigger. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm going to encourage you, and Sarah, you talk about this. Look at Sarah's Instagram, and you tell me what you see with her. Okay, talk about your workouts, because you're one of the fittest women I know. You have had your issues with some health stuff, just like everybody does. Everybody has something. But talk about your fitness routine, because you are very, very fit, and you're small. I mean,
thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm 5'2". So I'm 5'2". I'm essentially a size 2. I mean, I think women get confused about what you look like in the pump in the gym, right, and the best lighting, and then what you actually look like on the street. I mean, when I started this business and I started getting noticed, I was nervous that people were going to look at me and be like, that's her. Because in real life, right, I don't walk around fully pumped up. I don't have crazy low levels of body fat. We mostly look like normal people in real life. But I think the reality is that if it really was that easy to be fit, everyone would be. If it really was as simple as picking up a dumbbell that was too heavy and you changing your entire body, then more people would be more fit. And to get to this place where I'm at, where I put on almost 10 pounds of muscle, frankly, it's taken me almost 10 years. Like, there's nothing not purposeful on that journey. And once again, if it was as simple as just taking more testosterone, plenty of people would just abuse testosterone. And there's plenty of other steroids that other people, right, dip into. And so I think we have to call a spade a spade. You can train 6 days a week. You can still eat minimally, and you might not even see your body change. All of this is so focused, so dedicated. I'm now training only about 3 or 4 times a week. I don't need to track every little thing I consume. But I also understand that if I want to see change in the mirror, I have to make sure everything's lining up. My macros need to be on point, my micronutrients, so I'm feeling as good as possible. And I need to have that progressive overload. So if you are walking into the gym or your home gym and you're winging it, there's no chance you're going to get bulky from muscle. If you're winging it in the kitchen, you can 100% get bulky from fat gain. And unfortunately, that's just the reality unless you have insane genetics.
And that's a fact. That is absolutely a fact. Now, I want to go back again, step back a little bit, because we were talking, and you know how I bounce around and I go all over the road, everybody. But when you were talking about some of your clients who don't want to get blood work done, what do you think the reason is behind that? And how do we encourage people? Because I'm a baseline guy. I'm a baseline guy. You got to have that baseline. If you can get that first baseline established, you guys, if you can know where you were when you were 30 and then where you are at 35 or 40. Now, at this point for my life, I have baseline established for a long time, and they can tell really quickly something's off. So let's talk about that real quick, Sarah. Why do you think people get afraid to have blood work done? Is it just I have no idea. What do you think it is?
So I think this goes to the identity and more of the mindset that we're going to talk about next, and the fact that if we stay in denial, we can continue the pattern. We can stay in the all or nothing mindset. We can keep with the self-loathing. We can, continue to have a crappy relationship with food. If we get that blood work done and there's something to be done, then we have to get out of our comfort zone, right? I think that's truly what's driving, at least for the women I'm working with, versus it's purely financial. They really don't have someone that they trust, right? Maybe a provider if there was a deficiency to fill it. I think it's the comfort, but also the what then, right? What do I do with it then? And to your point, we shouldn't be waiting until there's a problem. Everyone should have blood work done from when they're their healthiest. So when you do get your ferritin back, you actually understand this is on the higher end. Is it high though for me, or is this my normal? And really having that is so important.
It's so vital. And exactly what Sarah was saying. I'm going to carry this through here, resetting everything. Sarah Granetz is here, back for her 3rd visit. Healthier and Stronger with Sarah. Strong by Sarah is her Instagram, which is just massive. Her business has taken off in the last few years. I'm very, very happy for her. I knew it was going to happen for her because she's solid. She has very consistent, very just middle of the road advice. It's nothing crazy. There's nothing crazy. And we're going to talk about more. Why women need advanced I want to hear about this. And your identity is what's keeping you stuck. That's coming up, we hope. Sarah Granetz is here. This is the Tom Matt Show.
This segment of the Tom Matt Show is brought to you in part by the Source of Light and Power by band leader Ark of All and broadcaster Mitch Anderson. Hear the sound that is endorsed by Odyssey headphones, linear tube audio, RME converters, and Peluso microphones at sourceoflightandpower.bandcamp.com.
Welcome to the Tom Matt Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to this week's episode of the Tom Matt Show. Strong by Sarah is with us today. Sarah Granetz in the flesh, Healthier and Stronger with Sarah. And she's so dialed in when it comes to this stuff. I love talking to her because she works with women pretty much exclusively. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, Sarah, but I think it's pretty much exclusively.
Yeah.
And she is,
yes.
That's the thing. She's found her core audience, her niche customers, people she can relate to. And so she building her base of knowledge around that. Before we get into why advanced women need coaches, which I'm dying to hear this one, We want to get all the contact info, the services that you provide. Go ahead, share all of that with the listeners. Take your time. Go right ahead.
Yeah. So my team and I offer one-on-one coaching, holistic health coaching for women in their 30s and 40s, obviously, and also beyond. But like you said, we really have found our niche of helping fit women who want to get fitter, who want to get more advanced. Maybe they've had setbacks physically, but now they're really ready to dive in. They know they're worth it. They want to invest in themselves. So I'm strong, Sarah on Instagram. I have a team now to help me really guide you from a place of data and science because I am getting my doctorate. We don't go based on feelings here. We go based on what does the literature say. We're very data driven, and we're going to use all that to really make sure that your journey is tracked. Every few days, we know what's happening. We're looking at your food diary, we're looking at your workouts, and we are helping you optimize. And that's really the difference between coaches who are phoning it in and ones who are actually getting on a Zoom with you and talking through whatever is keeping you stuck.
Before we jump into this topic here, I want to go really quickly and go back to what Sarah was just saying about her customers. I think you're selling yourself a little bit short because the women that are over 40, 50, 60, 70, because of your help and the difference in mindset that we've learned that lifting and good nutrition can help you age appropriately, growing older, as I like to say, not getting old. If you want to grow older, you older women out there, you beautiful things, you get with Sarah because she's not limited to 30 and 40-year-olds. She can help all women. She's getting her PhD. She's very educated. So I just wanted to throw that out there, Sarah, because I'm way over the 40 range, and so is Sandy. And we're at it every day. So it's like,
yeah,
right? I mean,
oh, for sure. For sure. We have women in their 60s and 70s in the program. I have coaches who really specialize in the postmenopausal period. And I think that's really where the magic needs to be. You need to have someone who's educated in that space. So yeah, it's not that we don't do it. We want to make sure we're reserving a small portion of my team absolutely to specialize in it.
And it's just like it's like what I've been exposed to lately, Sarah, with like my granddaughter's softball. I mean, she's a phenomenal softball. She's 13 years old, but she gets specialized pitching. She's left-handed pitching. She has very dialed in coaches for specific things, and it works. I mean, it costs money, but it works. All right, so let's talk about this. First off, when you had this topic, why advanced women need coaches? What did you mean? What did you mean for the listeners? But advanced women? Are you talking about age? Or are you talking about fitness levels, or what are you referring to? Fitness level. Okay, go ahead. Talk about that.
Yeah. So one of the biggest pushbacks I get from women in my DMs who reach out for help is that they don't think they need coaching because they're already so advanced, or they've had coaches before. But when we get to the sticking point, they're still stuck. They're still frustrated. They don't have the answers because they've expected in the past the basic solution, the budget solution, to somehow turn them into a more elite athlete.
The silver bullet solution?
And you and I both know, we both know that that's not how it works. Professional athletes have professional coaches. And so if you truly want something different and you've invested already in a few different options that have not gotten you any closer to where you want to be, now is actually the time to finally nip this in the butt and actually hold yourself to that higher standard, because truly what you're saying is that you're trying and it's not working out on your own. And there's no weakness in asking for help. There's actually a strength, because the most educated, influential, powerful people know that surrounding themselves with more people who can make them better, that's really where we want to be. That's the direction we want to move in, not denying ourselves of the coaching that we actually require.
Okay, so let's talk about just on the very high end, the cost. All right, so maybe you're saying, well, it's just too expensive. But my theory, you guys, and we'll let Sarah talk about this. My theory is it's a hell of a lot more expensive to get sick and not feel well and not be able to get on the toilet, get off the toilet, or have these injuries or mental health issues, all of these things. It's a lot more expensive than to invest. I like to think of the things that we try to, the services that we provide, Sarah, is there's a massive return on investment. When people invest in their health with you, they're getting that return, right? And that's what you're referring to with the advanced women.
Yeah, I mean, it's I think so often they sell themselves short. They sell short this transformation. What a difference it makes in your life if you don't have to nap every day at 3. What a difference it makes when actually if your husband is injured, you can pick him up, right? When your child is hurt, you can pick them up easily and get them into a car seat by yourself. I mean, some of these things are physical, you know, but the others are mental, not dreading every single Friday night because you know that you're going to binge, not dreading going out to dinner with your one friend, Becky, because she's a terrible influence. You always get too drunk and you can't say no. I mean, some of these things are things that you are constantly up against, right? And the exhaustion of not managing them. And that's really a mindset concern. It's an identity problem. And that's why you need a coach, frankly, who's going to tackle those issues with you instead of just one who's going to look at your food diary and say, your macros look fine. Talk to you next week. Like, you need more than that. And you also need the person and the program that will build off of the foundation that you've already created, right? We're not talking about getting your butt to the gym. You're already motivated. You're already disciplined. We're not talking about teaching you how to deadlift. We're talking about how you bring together all these different pieces. You stop getting in your own way. You stop self-sabotaging, and you actually understand which inputs are worth your time. Most of the women we work with are full-time working mothers. Time is a huge asset. So why do I want you in the gym for 45 minutes if it's not actually going to get you closer to where you want to be?
Well, that's where the fine tuning, I just wrote that down. It's Sarah Granetz, our guest today, everybody. Strong by Sarah. Strong.by.Sarah on Instagram. Healthier and stronger with Sarah. Fine tuning your relationship with yourself. You should always be trying to achieve these things because we don't need to have a massive goal for us going to the gym. It's just our regular routine, but continuing to fine tune the movements, fine tuning the sleep, the whole package, right, Sarah? I mean, it's not just the one little thing. It's a combination of lots of little things where the fine tuning can really add up.
Yeah. And it goes back to our first segment about HRT and TRT, stopping, no longer accepting a lower version of your reality. Like, your quality of life should be as good as possible. And that's often what I see. And it's heartbreaking. You have to stop accepting these symptoms, this lower quality of life, frankly, especially if you have the means to change it. And so that's what we're talking about, putting together all the different pieces, but also showing you what's really possible, because most of the women who come to us have not been able to achieve physically or mentally what they want. And so I had a conversation with a client once, and it became so clear. She truly did not believe that she could ever change, that she could actually ever embody this new version of her. And once we broke through that and got into the weeds of it, everything changed for her. And so it's not just one thing. It's how you're viewing all of these choices, your habits, and how they are either bringing you closer to where you want to be or not.
I love what you said and I'm sure this happens quite a bit where women, because we're speaking about women specifically today, everybody, with Sarah Granetz, accepting the lower version of reality. I have never heard that before. That is so on point, right? I mean, because you just become conditioned. Well, I just can't do it. I've tried so hard. And I know when I first got a personal trainer, I was at I was in the low 190s, which is about 10, 15 too high for me. And my trainer was like, you could be down another 10. And I looked at him like, no, I can't. I'm where I am. And he was right. I was wrong because I hadn't climbed the mountain yet. And when you get with someone like a Sarah and you start to see these small, and the thing is, Sarah, let's talk about incremental when we come back, because we're going to go to break in a second. But the incremental steps get lost. And because I think people continue to float back into that, like you said, lower version of your own personal reality, you give up and you stop too soon. All right. So tell everybody what we're going to do quickly, what we're going to do in the last segment, because this was important. What is our topic for the next segment? Your identity is what's keeping you stuck. There you go. Your identity is keeping you stuck. I have no idea what she's referring to. I'm so excited to talk to her about this because I think I know. I know. But I want to hear it from Sarah again. Sarah Granetz is here. Strong by Sarah. Strong.by.Sarah on Instagram. Healthier and Stronger with Sarah. And this is The Tom Matt Show.
Thank you again to Brock Fletcher, real estate agent at the selling team with Keller Williams Realty. For more information on services provided by Brock, please call his personal cell phone at 517-303-3262 or by emailing Brock at kwsellingteam.com. This is the Tom Matt Show.
Welcome to the Tom Matt Show.
Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody, to the Tom Matt Show. I am your host, Tom Matt. Thank you, Sandy, for the bumper and doing that voice in on radio. Sarah Granetz is with us today, Healthier and Stronger with Sarah. She's not only is she sharp in the gym, and she really believes in her work. And if you want to listen to some of Sarah's like earlier stories of her life when she was in fashion and she was in her 20s and she was figuring it out, and because I went through her notes and her file and how she went through her own retirement zone, and we talked about that and we laughed about that. She's been through it. I mean, and before we get into this next topic, which is going to be really interesting, give everybody a quick snapshot, because the next topic we're talking about, everybody, your identity is what's keeping you stuck. But before we get right into the nuts and bolts with this one, talk about you in your 20s from the earlier shows where you weren't Sarah Strong by Sarah, you were Sarah Granetz, and your identity changed. Weave that into where we're going, because just tell everybody, because maybe they're new to the show and they haven't heard that previous episode. Go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was always a runner, and then I unfortunately ran myself into almost nothing. I had professional treatment for an eating disorder. And when I was in treatment, I literally had the moment where I said, I can no longer do this. I can't be in this room. I can't be, when you have treatment, it's almost always in a group setting. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. I have to change. And that was when everything changed for me. It wasn't like I was all of a sudden healed, but in that moment, and I know now, I was choosing a different version. I was choosing that new identity. And I said, enough is enough. We're moving on. And I started to put the pieces back together of how I was going to truly move on from that. And I think that on sometimes smaller levels, but that's ultimately what the women that I coach, the women that I work with, are struggling with. They want to be this new, different version of themselves, and they keep picking the old one. They just can't let it go. The self-sabotage comes in, and it's not about hitting rock bottom, but it is about having that moment where you say, I am picking something different. And so, yes, it's your habits that are derailing you, but it's the habits that are tied to your identity. And you're still identifying as this person who isn't fit, who doesn't like the gym, who thinks tracking is too hard, who thinks they're, too busy to work out or eat healthy. And until you choose to identify as, Tom 2.0, Sarah 2.0, the person who doesn't have space for that bullshit, for those excuses, that's what keeps you stuck. And that's why this journey is so much of a mindset journey, and why, frankly, you need more than just a 22-year-old who's lost 25 pounds and kept it off to actually coach you.
Okay. So here's what I was thinking as you're going through this with the identity thing, because I've had episodes with dating experts, and dating experts will tell you that we will continue, because the way of what you just described, you know where I'm going. You always seem to go to a party, you go to an event, and you always seem to cycle through and find the same type of person who you don't want to find. You know what I'm saying, everybody? It's like you're always going for the same guy or girl that you always said, I'm done with those type of people. It's the same thing that, Sarah, we get caught in this endless habit, and this habit is hard to break. But the identity, who you are, doesn't have to define you. When you were stuck in your identity, how did you get out of it? How did you change yourself from that skinny runner to Sarah Strong by Sarah?
I mean, I think it's a cliche, but I was literally scared straight. And I think the other piece of it was that I just started asking myself, what would a healthy person do in this situation? Right. If I was hungry, if I wanted to work out, like what would a healthy person do? And I just started saying, okay, a healthy person would do this. A healthy person would do that. Someone without an ED past would pick this. And that made it very easy for me to pick and make that new path forward. And using the people in my life who, once again, maybe didn't have any of that history with food. And so you do the same thing on this fitness journey, right? Maybe there's someone in your life who works out no matter what. Maybe there's someone in your life who tracks her food and doesn't make it a big thing. Maybe there's someone in your life who orders a mocktail no matter what, regardless of the situation. Maybe there's a friend who wears whatever she wants and you want more of that. I don't give a crap about other people. You do what you think they would do. And the more you practice, it's reps. It's just like in the gym. The more reps you get in, the easier and the more second nature it becomes. And then you're literally rewiring your brain, those neural pathways, right? You don't become stressed and then eat emotionally. You get stressed, you go for a walk. A friend, triggers you maybe, and you pick a different choice. Once you start choosing different habits, because you've identified as this other person, everything else falls into place.
Cue, response, reward, everybody. That's the whole thing with a habit. Cue, response, reward. How do we change? Because if you get triggered and then you respond and you either get the reward or you don't, that's your choice. I mean, it's a choice and we make this choice. I want to step back in time for you though, and just tell you yourself at this point in your life, tell the listeners kind of a snapshot of your week of like, what do you go through on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, just to give everybody, because they could say, well, Sarah's got this perfect genetics and I can never be like Sarah. Talk about your daily life of how you're just a normal woman.
Yeah. I mean, my husband and I work on the business every single day. So we don't work literally every day, all day long. We take some time on the weekend, but we are in growth mode. We don't have children. We have a senior chihuahua, and this is where we want to be pouring our time. We can work from anywhere. His family is British. We go to England. We visit my parents wherever they might be. We visit my twin sister. We're able to really have the life we want, but also prioritize growing the business now, helping women now. I'm usually up between 6 and 6:30 in my DMs answering messages. I might go to the gym around 8. Sometimes it's the home gym for maybe an hour or so. I used to spend 2+ hours in the gym. I don't do that anymore. It's not necessary. But I also, there's other bigger things. I usually then spend 5 or 6 hours on calls. I do my doctorate homework at night. Wednesday's usually my off day, but generally speaking, Monday to Friday, I am on calls all day, whether with my team, prospective clients, or my current clients, coaching them, talking them through. I made a joke with my husband that actually my cheek muscles have gotten so much better since January because I'm so much talking that I'm doing all the time. But we are really all in on helping and growing this business because ultimately the more we do that, the more women we get to help. And I want every woman to not just accept this other reality, like the lesser reality that we talked about, but I want them to see what they're truly capable of. Because like you said, yeah, I have some good genetics, but I also work hard and I show up and I don't make excuses. But at the end of the day, I know that I'm not special. And me gaining this life, me gaining this body, this mindset is because of the work that I put in. And there's no reason why someone else can't have it too.
It's just an effort. It's a grind thing. It's a decision you make. It's choices. It really comes down to simplifying everything. Very much so. Okay, I've got about 3.5 minutes to go here. I want to give you plenty of time for your takeaway, which give you lots of time. Recap what we went through today, everybody. If people just joining us today, Sarah Granetz is our guest today, everybody. Go strong.by.sarah on Instagram. There is a bunch of a great community over there. If you want to find a community of people, just go there and just see what they're doing. There's no better way of checking it out because there's so many other influencers out there that are they're not worth their weight. Sarah's worth her weight. She's been doing this. She's doing the study and she's got the education and she's building that's why your business is growing. All right. Takeaway time. recap what we talked about and then what your takeaway is, and I'll give you the signal when we got to go.
For sure. So I think ultimately for anyone listening, if you've been waiting to invest in coaching, even if it's not my program, do your freaking homework, because there are a lot of coaches out there who don't have the credentials. They're going to be phoning it in, and they don't truly care at the end of the day. And for you, if you are more advanced, if you've been active your whole life, you truly do want a team of educated women in your corner rooting for you. And so for us, that's what we do in Lean and Liberated. We're going to do the physical transformation, but also the mental transformation that you need to make everything we talked about today possible. Because you can get your dream body, but if you're not addressing what's happening in your mind, it's still not going to be enough. And so for us, we're going to focus on that whole journey for you and really show you what you're capable of, what's possible, while educating you in the process. Because a good coach shouldn't have you stay on forever. A good coach should have you temporarily teach you everything they know and then set you up for success.
Sarah Granetz, Healthier, Stronger with Sarah, strong.by Sarah. Strong.by.Sarah is her Instagram. One thing that I liked about today's episode, I like it all, of course, but the HRT and the TRT, everybody, is really very, very important. And we're going to be doing it ourselves. I'm going to the doc with Andy. We're going to check it out. And it's like, because we all change. I mean, I had to go through all of my leg issues the last year to get my self-improvement back. You make a choice. So, Sarah, what's your choice now for yourself and moving forward? I got a minute to go here, and I want you to just leave this with a takeaway. What's Sarah's goal for you for the rest of the year?
I mean, I think my goal is the standard that I hold my clients to, is to not keep telling myself a narrative that's keeping me stuck, to be honest if there is something that's truly getting in my way. And for me is continuing to figure out how to mix my training with actually some of my injuries and some of my health problems, and make sure that I'm continuing to do what I need to feel my best, and, looking my best too would be good.
And that's the point. And you know what? We do want to look our best because it makes us mentally feel our best. If our show fits your business group's mission, we want to be of service to you through our guests like a Sarah Granetz. The topics, issues, please let us know. We have some sponsorship slots available. You have to fit. Drop us a note in the contact box and we will be in touch. TomMattShow.com. Miss any portion of the show, podcasts are there at the website I just mentioned, TomMattShow.com. Always remember, before you can share love with others, you must love yourself first. Thanks to Sarah for being with us, Sarah Granetz, Sandy, Brock. We'll talk to you next weekend, everybody. Have a great week. Go out and ignite your life. Remember, the Tom Matt Show is a production of Boomers Rock Media. We want to bring your story to life. Thanks again to Mitch Anderson and Vanessa. We are out.
The Tom Matt Show is produced by Mitch Anderson of Black Circle Studios. Original music from the Source of Light and Power by the Arc of All.